Well, we're going to get started now. So I just want to welcome everyone to this exciting webinar about sea turtle conservation in Costa Rica. And today we'll discover how United Planet's quests connect volunteers with meaningful conservation work protecting endangered sea turtles while fostering cross-cultural understanding in one of the world's most biodiverse countries, Costa Rica. So first, I'm excited to welcome our guest panelists who are joining us from Costa Rica. I'd like to introduce our panelists as well as the team behind the scenes supporting our webinar, and then we'll dive right in to talk about sea turtle conservation in Costa Rica. So first, I'll introduce myself. I'm Jill Tracy. I'm the CEO of United Planet. Next, we have Mariel Pinel, Executive Director of United Planet's partner in Costa Rica, the Asociación Costarricense de Interculturalidad, or the Costa Rican Intercultural Association, or ASI for short. So welcome, Mariel. And next up, we have Ignacio Escorriola, a Costa Rican biologist who works closely with ASI and United Planet volunteers. And then next we have Vincent Schröter, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, a volunteer with ASI who is from Germany, living in Costa Rica and volunteering in the realm of sea turtle conservation. And then finally, I'm excited to also introduce to you Hailey Bertison, who served as a United Planet volunteer engaged in Costa Rica's sea turtle conservation for 4 weeks last November. Hailey volunteered at Costa Rica's Montezuma Sea Turtle Conservation Project. Thank you all for joining us today to discuss this important topic. And I'd also like to introduce behind the scenes our United Planet staff who are supporting this webinar, and they can respond to your questions in the chat as we go along. So first is Melissa Lewin, International Program Coordinator based in Cape Town, South Africa. Welcome, Melissa. Next is Sofia Hernandez, International Programs and Partnerships Manager. She is based in Guatemala. We've got Carlos Gavidia, Success Coordinator based in El Salvador, and Kelly Ryan, Operations Manager based in Honduras. I also saw Precious Agadan from our team. She is based in Nigeria. So we've got quite the global team behind the scenes supporting this webinar today. And just a huge thank you to everyone for all your background support that you're doing. I also want to welcome all of you who are joining us today on this webinar. Please feel free to post in the chat about yourself, about your interest in sea turtle conservation, and whether you're a student, an educator, a professional, or whatever your background is. Let us know who you are and where you're joining us from. And next, before we dive into the topic, I would like to share with you a little about United Planet. So United Planet is a nonprofit organization which this year we're celebrating 25 years of fostering cross-cultural understanding through volunteer programs, youth exchanges, internships, and other educational experiences for all ages in over 40 countries around the world. United Planet empowers individuals to become change agents in their communities and locally and globally. And the other introduction I wanted to share is that United Planet and the Costa Rican Intercultural Association, or ASI, have enjoyed a long-standing partnership working together toward a more united world and global citizenship. ASI is a nonprofit organization based in Costa Rica with more than 60 years of experience facilitating exchanges, volunteering, youth projects, and sustainable development programs. And ASI engages in meaningful social action, cultural immersion, and community engagement. And of course, Costa Rica is a Central American gem nestled between Nicaragua and Panama, renowned for its pura vida lifestyle, emphasizing peace, safety, happiness, environmental sustainability, and conservation. Costa Rica offers stunning natural wonders from volcanoes to abundant wildlife, waterfalls, and pristine beaches along both the Caribbean and Pacific coasts. Costa Rica is a paradise for nature lovers seeking adventure and meaningful conservation work. And I personally can attest to how amazing Costa Rica is. I took the picture that you're seeing here of this waterfall, is La Fortuna waterfall. I was there last year, and it was just an amazing experience. I highly recommend checking out Costa Rica. So across Costa Rica's, what I wanted to share is that this is our agenda. Across Costa Rica's coastlines, sea turtles are facing urgent and growing threats, but there's also hope. Today, we're going to discuss the importance of sea turtles and their crucial role in marine ecosystems, the threats they face, and Costa Rica's innovative conservation efforts, and how you can get involved in helping to make a real difference in the life and habitat of Costa Rica's sea turtle populations. So, to kick things off, let me just advance here. I'd like to pass the microphone to our friend and biologist from Costa Rica, Ignacio Escorriola, who we also lovingly call Nacho. Hello and welcome, Nacho. I would love for you to share with us a little bit about the importance of sea turtles in terms of their role as a keystone species. I went up one too many slides here. Here we go. Keystone species and their cultural and economic value and their role as biodiversity champions in Costa Rica. So, Nacho, tell us a little bit more.
Hey, good afternoon, buenas tardes to everybody. First, thanks, Jill, for the opportunity to United Planet and ASI for being here to share with you your future trip to Costa Rica. By the way, I noticed there in our audience, we have there Mr. Didier Chacon, that is the leading Costa Rican researcher in sea turtles. More than a lifetime doing research with sea turtles. So now I feel, this is a really good friend of mine, I feel I'm with my professor when I was defending my research at college.
Wow.
So just a coincidence. How little is Costa Rica? Me having to talk to you, and we have the leading researcher in Costa Rica doing sea turtles, not only in Costa Rica, but really around the world. So probably many of the things that we'll have the opportunity to talk to you during your trip, I might have learned it from working with Didier. So again, thank you, Jill, for the opportunity. We have here in the slide presentation why sea turtles. We are going to be able to see or learn during our trip to Costa Rica next July why are the keystone species, the cultural and economic impact that they have, and why they are considered biodiversity champions. As a keystone species, we can see them grazing on seagrasses beds, keeping them healthy and productive. At the same time, they help us in the coral reefs, controlling sponge populations, so otherwise will be overcome the corals. So they help us to keep a delicate balance of the ecosystems. In many coastal areas around the world, in the tropical areas where sea turtles nest or subtropical areas, they are really strong link cultural and heritage of sea turtles to those coastal communities. Costa Rica is one of those places on earth that you could have a chance to see sea turtles nesting. And actually, when you have opportunity, if you eventually visit us, Costa Rica, also you could see them swimming when you do your snorkel or scuba diving trips. That doesn't mean that sea turtles, and you will hear later on in the presentation, the threats that they have, not only in Costa Rica, but also around the world. So yes, in our communities that have helped with ecotourism, with the local economy, and also to portray Costa Rica effort in conservation, not only land conservation, but also around our seashores. As mentioned, biodiversity champions, they are also source of food of other populations on shore. When little sea turtles come away from their nest, there is a many fellows waiting for them. Sometimes, if we have a chance, eventually in July to talk, it's like a great grocery store open when little sea turtles hatch. But we will have time to talk about that. Can you pass the next slide, Jill, please? Next slide.
Yes, did it work?
No, okay, sorry. I was looking at my computer and not at the screen. Yes,
Oh, okay.
sorry, my fault.
No worries. No worries.
Okay, you didn't let me use the clicker. There you see the five sea turtle species that net in Costa Rica. From the top on the screen, you see the leatherback is the biggest one. Then the olive ridley, which is probably the one that we are going to see the chance more to see on our trip in July because it's their nesting season, and probably it's a chance of green and hawksbill, but I don't can promise you that. The loggerhead species is more unfrequently seen nesting on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. The other four species, we could say that they nest on both shores, Caribbean and Pacific. Montezuma, where we are going to be visiting next July, is in the Pacific Northwest of Costa Rica. Let's go to the next slide, Jill, please. Okay. Something that we will have a chance to see is the miracle of sea turtle nestings, and we could talk that is divided in three periods where they come. The females come to nest on shore. We will have a chance to see that the eggs will be looking like a ping pong balls, but are really soft and not exactly as round as pink ball. Then we have the incubation period that could be between 45 to 70 days. I gonna say 60 sometimes is a better number in between. But again, it's a nature event which you also will depend on the depth of the nest, the temperature, for which is something for us to concern because nowadays we are having higher temperatures on nesting grounds, but that's something that we will be able to talk about during our trip. And then, as I mentioned when I started talking, their journey from the nest to the ocean, that you good phrase that run for your life. In the particular case of nesting sites where people are taking care or protecting the hatchlings coming towards the ocean, there's going to be a little bit reducing the risk of predators taking advantage, as I mentioned it, of that grocery or store that opens on the beach when the nests hatch. So I let you go to the next slide, Jill. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Nacho. That was super informative. I really appreciate all that rich information about sea turtles. They certainly are very important and special species and contribute in big ways to Costa Rica's rich biodiversity. So thank you for sharing. And Mariel, I wanted to ask you, can you please share with us a bit about the crucial threats facing sea turtles today? What are some of the biggest issues facing sea turtle populations in Costa Rica?
Thank you, Jill, and everyone. Thank you for listening. Indeed, sea turtles face many serious threats today, including, as you can see in the slide, human activities, pollution, especially plastics, climate change, of course. Now it's a really big challenge, poaching and habitat loss. Now, in important nesting areas along the Pacific coast of Costa Rica, as Nacho already mentioned, females return to the same beach where they were born decades ago to lay their eggs. And this is also the moment when they are most vulnerable, actually. So the goal of these sea turtle conservation stations and our collaboration with them is to increase hatchling survival in the face of these growing and diverse threats, and of course to sustain the delicate and demanding work that this requires, including a strong and consistent volunteer commitment which plays a really crucial role. And this is why for us is very important the volunteering programs and the engagement of so many people from many different places. Last but not least, I would like to share something that I find truly amazing. Protecting sea turtles also mean protecting the entire ecosystem, actually. I recently learned that their nesting activity helps return nutrients to the sand, supporting coastal biodiversity. So when we protect turtles and their nesting beaches, we are actually helping to safeguard the health of the ocean and, of course, all the life that depends on it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Mariel. This is really deep insights that you're sharing. And I understand that ASI and other organizations in Costa Rica are taking major steps to help support sea turtle conservation efforts. And so with that, I just wanted to welcome Vincent and Hailey, who are two volunteers who have been working hard on the ground, engaged in sea turtle conservation efforts in Costa Rica. And first, I'd like to pass the microphone, if you will, to Vincent. Vincent, can you please share with us how you got involved in sea turtle conservation efforts in Costa Rica and some of the activities you've been engaged in to help protect and rehabilitate sea turtle habitat and populations?
Yeah, so I graduated from high school last year and I wanted to do something else before I worked my whole life. So I did the application for this project here, and I'm actually a long-term volunteer. That means that I stay here in this project for 1 year and help to improve the population of the sea turtles here. And right now the season is actually over from the sea turtle, because that's around from June to December. Yeah, but during the season we did a lot of patrols on the beach, searching for the tracks, searching for the sea turtles, and then collecting the eggs from them to plant them in our hatchery, which is safe. And when there are nests in the hatchery, there are always people in the hatchery from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Protecting the nests from predators, even humans, birds, as you already mentioned. And yeah, that's actually what we are doing right now. We are only staying in the hatchery and waiting that till the nest hatch, and then we're releasing them to the ocean. Yeah, that's actually really nice to do this work. It's such a paradise here, and I love every single day I'm being here, and it's a privilege for me.
Wow. Thank you, Vincent. That's amazing. And I'm going to stop sharing the slides for a few minutes while we continue to talk with our volunteers and with our experts over there in Costa Rica, so we can see your faces even better. And I wanted to also then share with Hailey, we would love to hear your reflections as well about how you got involved in sea turtle conservation efforts in Costa Rica and some of the activities you engaged in, and more specifically, how was your experience volunteering with ASI and United Planet? What brought you to United Planet? And what are you doing now? Because you volunteered for 4 weeks in November of 2025. So that just happened and you're freshly back. So we'd love to hear your story.
Yeah, so I graduated college a few years ago. I'm 26. I went to school for pre-veterinary medicine, so I have a strong love for animals. But I decided that working in a vet wasn't for me. So I'm kind of on like a career path change. And I needed like a little bit of time to figure out what I wanted to do. So I wanted to, spend that time figuring it out, doing something productive and like helping in some way. I wanted to give back and just be of service. So I was looking up mission projects or mission trips to do, and was trying to find a good nonprofit organization to do it through. and United Planet was the one that like I thought was the best, where my money was going to good use, and it's not, the money's just benefiting someone else, but actually going towards, helping with conservation and the actual project itself. But yeah, so that's how I chose United Planet, just searching online for the best place to go through. And what was the other questions?
No, I think you answered a lot of it. I think that was, we wanted to understand kind of what your motivation and how you ended, and tell us about your experience then in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Once you got there, how was it?
Yeah, so we live with other volunteers in the house that is behind Vincent right now. Um yeah, it was the most amazing experience of my life. I'm so thankful I went. I became best friends with Vincent, and so many other people there, like lifelong friends. I was the only American there, so I got to experience not only like the culture of Costa Rica, but also all of the other cultures of the other volunteers. So that was amazing. And yeah, it was a life-changing experience seeing like baby sea turtles hatch, also like, retrieving the eggs from sea turtles while they're laying um their eggs. It was just an amazing experience. It was once in a lifetime, so I'm really thankful I got to see that. But yeah, collecting like during the days we would do beach cleanups often, like bio cleanups, and then also like plastics. And it really, it felt like you were making an impact, even if it's small. And that was a great feeling. Yeah, other than that, it was amazing just being there. Like Vincent said, it's beautiful there. Absolutely paradise. But yeah, just getting outside of myself and being of help to the world felt amazing. So
That's great. Thank you, Hailey. That's beautiful. I'm so glad that you took that leap of faith and joined in sea turtle conservation in Costa Rica and spent 4 months of your life doing that. And now, I'm sorry, 4 weeks of your life doing that. And now you're back in the US. And it's just an exciting testimonial to hear about your experience. And I wanted to ask a few other questions to our panel. So I guess my first question was, what does community-led conservation mean in practice where you work? Who leads, who supports, how are decisions made? Because that's really an important value for United Planet, and I know it is for ASI as well. So tell us a little bit about what community-led conservation means.
me?
To any of the panelists,
Okay.
maybe Mariel is most, because she's leading ASI locally in Costa Rica. Mariel, could you maybe talk a bit about that?
I can definitely share a bit about my experience and my perspective. So community-led conservation in Costa Rica means that conservation efforts are driven primarily by civil society, so local organizations, community groups, grassroots initiatives, rather than being imposed from the top down. And in practice, I will say leadership often comes from local associations, community development groups, we call them Asociaciones de Desarrollo, or environmental NGOs, which are working directly in the territories. And on the other hand, these initiatives are usually coordinated with government institutions, which provides frameworks, technical guidance, and some funds also. So support comes from multiple stakeholders like even local schools, municipalities, small businesses, and of course volunteers, as I was mentioning before, are an important part of it, and even churches or other groups, families, even families who live in or near conservation areas. So decision making is typically participatory among all these different stakeholders, and community meetings, local boards, projects, coordinations, everyone working together, and the government providing more like the legal structure or implementation, daily management, or organizing also community support. So in summary, we could say that it is about shared responsibility. Local actors lead and mobilize on the one hand, and public institutions support and regulate, and also facilitate the decisions through dialogue and negotiations between different stakeholders.
That's great. Thank you, Mariel. That's really good perspective. And I love the partnership in terms of the grassroots community-led conservation, along with support kind of at the governmental level. It's really good, kind of public, private, and people engaging. I guess my next question probably is best for Vincent and or Hailey about what are the most common hands-on tasks that volunteers support when they're engaging in sea turtle conservation in Costa Rica?
Should I, Hailey?
Sure.
It's okay when I answer? Okay. So like there are like also a little bit of small activities we have to do here. For example, cleaning breakfast, lunch, dinner, cooking, also dinner, but also like little things, going to the hatchery, doing the night shifts, respecting all the rules there, only using red lights, for example, don't step in the hatchery with shoes. Or as Hailey already mentioned, that we do a lot of plastic cleanup. We try to keep this place here as clean as possible, and the beach as well. Or even community works in the town, we help people who needs help, or other organizations. We have a organization Romelia, which is in Playa Grande, and sometimes they don't have a lot of volunteers, so we're gonna help them as well. Yeah, but also like hands-on. What was it exactly? Hands-on activities or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of those hands-on activities?
Like we are also doing sometimes. The whole group is going to the waterfall and just relaxing the day there, and doing like make the group stronger together, doing like this types of activities, or all of us going to surf, or yeah, something like this, because I think this is the big part of living here, to yeah, be able to fit with every person, because a lot of different persons arrive here, and we have to deal with all of them. Yeah, that's actually also a hard topic, but I love it to be here. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Vincent. What about you, Hailey? Anything to add?
Yeah, so for like the working things, Vincent kind of like touched on that, but yeah, so like we all contribute to making dinners and like cleaning up the house, but then we'd usually do like a day or morning activity where we would clean up the beaches. Sometimes it would be La Playa Grande helping with all their conservation project. And then so it'd either be plastic or bio cleanup, like moving the logs so the sea turtles had more like space to like lay their eggs on the beach, because sometimes they would, if there was too many logs, they'd turn back around and not lay their eggs. So that was really important. And then during so I was only there for 4 weeks. I know Vincent said it's no longer, the sea turtles aren't like laying their eggs right now. It's not that season, but when it was, we would have like exhumations usually at 4 p.m. where we would like exhume a nest if like take up the rest of the nest, make sure there's no other live sea turtles if the nest hatched the night before. So that was usually at 4 p.m. And then at like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., like Vincent mentioned, we do night patrols. And then also like monitor the hatchery, make sure there's no, animals getting to the nests we have like set up in the hatchery. So yeah, during night patrols, you check the beach for sea turtle tracks. And a lot of the times you'd like find the sea turtle, still laying their eggs, or like getting ready to, and we would collect the eggs, and then do some other measurements and like document all of those findings. And then we take the eggs back to the hatchery and form a nest and put like an enclosure type like little net over top of the nest. But yeah, so we do that from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and like in separate shifts, like usually 4 shifts. But there was a good amount of time that we had like between these like, duties that we would like have time to like spend with like our friends from the house and like explore Costa Rica and its beauty. So it was an amazing time.
That's great. That sounds very interesting and very exciting and exhausting too, all at the same time. And I was wondering then, especially on these night patrols and around nesting females, and I think I'll toss this question over to Mariel. How do you keep both people and the turtles safe during all of this?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Jill. For us, it is crucial and something that it's a basic pillar is that we always facilitate, coordinate, and prepare long-term volunteers in these conservation stations. So long-term volunteers will be, after a couple of months, already quite experienced. And when we have the possibility to also include short-term volunteers, they are already kind of the senior ones, right? So they will be kind of the mentors. So it was probably the experience for Hailey with Vincent. Vincent already like a more experienced volunteer. Besides, of course, the technical staff and responsible staff in the conservation stations. So there is always this volunteers network and volunteers support among each other and accompany each other. Secondly, it's always a very important requirement to have an induction before engaging in the project, and we make sure of that together with the conservation stations and ASI. We prepare the volunteers with the necessary information, the necessary knowledge, so they can have a positive and safe experience and contribution engagement in the project. So there is always enough people on site to support each other and to maintain safety for the volunteers, for people, and also, of course, for the main goal, which is the conservation and the protection of the sea turtles. It's not like someone without a preparation can come into the site and then be risking of having a negative impact. So this is very, very important. And of course, everyone must always be accompanied and respect the protocols. I don't know if maybe Vincent could expand a bit about this in his own experience, but from the organization perspective and protocols, this is what we consider the most important.
Thank you, Mariel. That's super helpful of understanding, because safety for both the turtles and the volunteers is highest priority, I think, in all of what's happening. And I have a question.
I'm sorry,
sorry.
I wish I can.
Oh, so sorry. Question for Nacho. A couple questions that I'll combine into one. So basically, Nacho, how can businesses that are near beaches reduce their impacts on, the negative impacts on sea turtles? And then how do you measure whether these types of volunteer programs and different kinds of organizations programs are truly helping sea turtle populations? Oh, you're on mute. Thank you.
Thank you. First, businesses depends on where the nesting location is. In many areas, and I could give examples of Costa Rica, both either Pacific or Caribbean. They support the local organizations working on the night patrols and taking care of the hatcheries, and also during the time that this not necessarily the nesting time, but the hatchery needs some work, preparation before the nesting season happens. So this is like a sponsorship. Details like lights on the beach that will distract the nesting sea turtles. It works both ways, not only the local organization in charge of the nesting grounds or taking care of the nesting grounds. People need to learn, so there is some of environmental education. Even there are some government policies, not only Costa Rica, but around the world. Yes, business has to comply with them. So we could talk about successful examples where communities have really taken care and they respect this nature event to help the nesting sea turtles, and later on the little hatchlings to make it to the ocean, back to the ocean after they hatch. We will have a chance to talk about those different options on our trip next July. And regarding the how again was the programs are measured. At least in Costa Rica, the managers of these programs that have to do an annual report and present that one to the state official, the Ministry of the Environment. But also there is a really strong international sea turtle community. For example, in the coming week, or it just happened, there is International Sea Turtle Symposium or society, and people really want to show their success, but also talk about the threats or why the sea turtles are so much in danger, and that will be something that absolutely we will have a chance to talk more about. But yes, they are extraordinary, successful places where sea turtles were almost in the brink of extinctions, and the populations have recovered to their nesting grounds. Still, there's a lot of research where they go after the hatchlings, where they feed, and actually was really reading or hearing a presentation the importance of the protecting the feeding grounds. The feeding grounds are really important for sea turtles, and that's all of the work. By the way, I saw on our audience another fellow from Costa Rica, Eduardo Altamirano. I had the opportunity to work with him on a sea turtle project on the South Pacific of Costa Rica, catching the sea turtles. And interesting, just as a comment, just in Hawaii, or probably in that area, is where you see males nesting on the beach. They go basking on the seashores of Costa Rica, both Caribbean and Pacific. We only see females nesting or on shores. On that particular project, you have always a chance to catch a male. But that will be something that we will be able to talk again on our next trip in July. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you,
Hopefully, I
Nacho.
have a chance to answer your question, and I'm here to answer all the future questions.
Yeah, that's great. It's wonderful to know kind of what are some of the things that businesses can do to prevent, the negative impacts. And it's great to understand about organizations and measures of positive impact that conservation efforts are having. So it's super helpful. And then I guess one of my last questions before maybe we open it up a little bit, and then I want to share about this trip that Nacho is referring to that's happening. But before we do, Mariel, what's one concrete action that you would like every attendee who's here today to take after this webinar?
But can you hear me? Yes, I was on mute. Now I'm okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Well, I will say the first step in my own experience, especially, is that the more we connect with the natural world, the more we learn to appreciate and respect it. So I encourage all of us to reconnect. Sometimes we, unfortunately, are not so close to nature or are not able to take some time for this. I think it was very nice also to hear Vincent and Hailey sharing how, while they have been involved in the sea turtle conservation, they also kind of organically found a bigger connection with nature, right? Like enjoying and exploring the natural environment in Costa Rica. And this, we can also do it in our communities, of course. So I will say that try to connect as much as possible with nature, get closer to nature. And of course, volunteering is an excellent and powerful way to do it, and beautiful way to do it. So whether in our communities, whether in a program like the one we are facilitating, it's great to strengthen that connection with nature, to offer our support, to deepen our commitment, and also, I think, even more important, to learn more about nature, because sometimes we know so little, and when we start understanding better, then we just get to another level, and then our actions are definitely more impactful. So that will be my recommendation.
Those are beautiful words of wisdom, Mariel. I can't agree more with what you're saying. It's very, very spot on. I'm a big believer in, just getting out there and exposing yourself and learning and going with an open mind and curiosity can really help you, each of you, be an advocate for more beyond your own boundaries of your own life to the world. You can make such a positive impact by getting out there and experiencing firsthand some of the things we're talking about. And that's exactly what I think Hailey and Vincent are a testimony of that. And I congratulate them for their efforts and for being curious and exploring the world. And I congratulate you, Mariel and Nacho, for helping to be that bridge of understanding between different cultures and different experiences and backgrounds, to show them all the amazing things that exist in Costa Rica, and especially in terms of sea turtle conservation, which is what we're talking about today, such an important topic. So I wanted to share, based on kind of some of the things Ignacio and Mariel and Vincent and Hailey were talking about. So United Planet is partnering closely. I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully you all can see. We're partnering closely with ASI and our partners in Costa Rica, other organizations that are working hard on sea turtle conservation. But together with Mariel and her organization, ASI, we're organizing a quest to Costa Rica this July, the 14th through the 23rd, for 10 days, where you can get your own hands-on experience with a group with Nacho and Mariel, and everybody is there to help explore this, exactly what we're talking about: beach patrolling, nest monitoring, hatchery work. And for these 10 days, United Planet will help orchestrate everything from here and in Costa Rica with Mariel and Asi, from pre-departure training to your accommodations, meals, in-country transportation, 24/7 support, bilingual guides, travel insurance, all excursions, and all of that is included in this program fee you see here. And for that, we are offering an early bird discount as well. If you sign up and want to join this group going to Costa Rica in July, if you sign up by March 31st, you can get a 10% discount on the program fee. And the program fee is all inclusive of everything I talked about. So it's really a reasonable amount for what this is. And then I wanted to ask Mariel to just walk us through kind of what do those 10 days look like on the ground in Costa Rica.
Yes, thank you again. So as Jill said, we have been organizing this program and trying to include different aspects that can provide a meaningful experience for all of you, and that we can gather many people from the different places in USA. So the plan is to have during the first 2 days, as usual, our orientation activity where we prepare the participants before going to the project and starting the volunteering. So this is in San Jose, in the Central Valley. You will arrive in Juan Santa Maria International Airport, and from there we will already have a minibus transportation waiting for you, Nacho waiting for you also, and then start the orientation camp. Afterwards, then we are ready to move to our sea turtle conservation project in the Pacific side, probably with Vincent there. And then you will have the chance to participate and engage in all these different tasks and activities that Vincent and Hailey have shared. So patrolling and cleaning beaches, but also discovering and again connecting with the wildlife and nature in this beautiful area. After this, we have been planning to also give you a different experience in Costa Rica, from the Pacific side, the coast, to a mountain community. So different landscape, different experience, engaging and participating in forest conservation. And this will be so for a couple of days. For afterwards, days 9 and 10, also explore a bit more and relax a bit, have some fun, discovering some of our natural beauties like volcanoes, or other beautiful beautiful mountains in the Central Valley. So this is basically it. It's quite complete with different landscapes, different ecosystems, different activities, and I am really looking forward for gathering different people and making this possible for the project, of course, who will benefit from this effort, from this trip, but also for you, for all who can participate and come to be part of the program.
Yes, I thank you, Mariel. I agree. I'm excited about people coming to Costa Rica and making a really positive impact on sea turtle conservation, as well as learning about the Costa Rican culture, the pura vida lifestyle, and about the beautiful topography and nature in Costa Rica, exploring and seeing all of the beauty of volcanoes and waterfalls and oceans on two sides of the country. It's just a very unique experience being in Costa Rica, enjoying the life, enjoying the culture, enjoying language exposure, getting some, Spanish exposure and experience. And this is really open to all levels of people who've either never been out of their home country to experienced travelers. We cater, this experience is going to be for all people, all ages, and it's going to be a really great experience. So I encourage everyone to check it out. I know our team put a link to the information about this specific one, and other info there's links in the chat. And of course, you can reach out if you have questions at any time. But at this point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I just, first of all, want to let everyone know there were a few questions in the chat about a certificate of participation. And my team will post again the link to there's a survey that will ask you about your experience on this call, but you'll also receive it over email as well. And if you complete that, you can also get the certificate of participation for this webinar hosted by United Planet and ASI. And then I just want to extend a huge thank you to our panelists, to Mariel, Ignacio, Vincent, and Hailey for taking the time to share with us your wisdom, your insights, and your love of sea turtle conservation in Costa Rica. I also want to thank the United Planet team for orchestrating this webinar. And thank you to all of you who participated in this session, for all of the folks on the call, for your curiosity and interest in learning more about sea turtle conservation efforts in Costa Rica. I hope to see you all in Costa Rica this July. It's going to be an amazing experience. And just thank you again to everyone for your time and your support. Pura vida, and keep in touch. Thanks to everybody. Thank you, panelists, and thank you, audience.
Gracias. Pura vida.
Pura vida. Muchas gracias. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.